Welcome and well met, everyone. Thank you for joining me as we go on to discuss everything that we learned from yesterday's keynote for the upcoming expansion of 7.0. I wasn't 100% sure we would be getting a trailer, so it was a wonderful surprise to see that. And I highly doubt that this is the full trailer. Like, I could tell that there were a lot of pieces missing. For example, we didn't see Alphino or Cryle in the trailer. I'm sure that we will be seeing them later on. They're probably going to be keeping most of that under wraps, at least until the next fan festival. It's what they did with the Shadowbringers and Endwalker trailers after all. So instead, we're just going to be talking about everything that we saw, as well as everything that we think that might be coming for us for the upcoming expansion, and pretty much everything that was confirmed for us. So if you want to see my live reaction for the trailer, you can go ahead and watch that. But otherwise, let's go ahead and have a quick look at everything that we know so far. So, first things first, we have a title confirmed for us. This is going to be Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. And everyone was so convinced that it was going to be Marasidia. I too was 100% convinced for a long time that it was going to be the southern continents of Marasidia that we were going to be going to. But, you know, when you think about it, I mean, it was so obvious that they had to go ahead and change it just so that they could keep us on our toes, I suppose. But, yeah, so as hope's light dawn shines once more, a hero looks to new horizons. Winds of opportunity bring a visitor from the new world seeking the Warrior of Light's aid in a rite of succession to determine Tural's next ruler. So yes, the new world is going to be the brand new location that we're going to. And apparently we are going to be meeting somebody in 6.5 where they're going to be coming from the new world, I'm guessing, and we receive an invitation as we go off to Tural, which is going to be the new hub city. So from what I understand, we will be meeting a brand new character in 6.5. We do know that there's going to be a part 1 and a part 2 now. So I'm guessing they're going to be appearing in part 2, and they're going to kind of tie everything together from Endwalker to Dawntrail. And we are going to be receiving an invitation to apparently a race to the throne. So I'm not really sure what that's going to be about. But it looks like alongside Alphino, Alize, and Ernbel, the Warrior of Light embarks upon a journey across the Indigo Deep. Should rumor be true, the contest may lead them to the fabled gates of a city of gold. So we did hear from MXL at the end of Endwalker, the fabled golden cities of the new world. So it looks like we are going to be kicking off another location from the bucket list that he gave us. But sad thing is, little do they know that it will also see the Scions divided. So from what Yoshi P and the dev team were going on about, it sounds like this is going to be a race for the actual throne of Tural. So Tural is going to be the new hub city that we're going to be going to, and I'll show the pictures in just a moment. But we do have a quick picture of the map. So yes, we do have an updated version of the map, and we have the lower part of the new world revealed to us. So we don't know anything about the upper part just yet, but it looks like everything that is going to be happening in the next expansion is going to be taking place on the southern parts of the new world. So it's going to be kind of like a Brazilian, like Machu Picchu kind of feeling. At least that's kind of the impression I got from it. So, as I was saying, the new location is going to be York Tural, and these are going to be some really tough names that I'm going to try to pronounce, but if I butcher them, just please excuse that. So, from what Yoshi P and the others were saying, it sounds like the Scions are going to be divided in a sense, because they're going to be fighting for the throne of Tural. What we do know about this place is that it's the seat of the federal nation-state governing Tural, and it's located in the northern reaches of York Tural. This nation's ruler is actually Galu Jaja, who is a two-headed Mamu-Ja. So we actually saw a two-headed Mamu-Ja once before. That was during the Wanderer's Palace hard mode. That guy was, you know, kind of slow and dim, but apparently this one is supposed to be both very powerful but very wise at the same time. And we're going to be heading off to this location because of a sea route that just opened up to Old Charlene. So I'm guessing that's where we're going to be kind of kicking off the story for the 7.0 expansion. We'll be starting off in Charlene before we head off to the new location of Terrell. As to the reason why we are going there, we still don't have too much knowledge on that, but apparently there's going to be some kind of race to the throne. So it looks like maybe the old ruler is going to be dying sometime soon. I mean, judging from what we saw in the trailer, it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon, but yeah, it sounds so fascinating to me over the idea that the Scions could end up divided because of this. And to be fair, I don't think it's going to be like the Scions are going to backstab each other and it's going to be like a war of succession or anything, and like a civil war within the Scions or anything. To me, it seems more along the lines of a friendly competition. It's going to be like you break off into groups, we'll see you at the finish line, may the best team win. That's kind of the impression that I'm getting from here. So I'm guessing that the Warrior of Light will end up going to Terrell, maybe join up with some of the other Scions and form one team, and maybe the others will form another team. And basically it's going to be a race to see who can reach the end before the other. Yoshi P did state that it was going to be kind of like a great summer vacation, which you gotta admit, the Warrior of Light really deserves it. The other Scions in the trailer, they all look young, healthy, happy. The Warrior of Light looks terrible, to be honest, in terms that it looks like they aged to like about 40 years, so I really do think that they need a vacation after pretty much saving the whole universe. Otherwise, we really don't have too much more information about the storyline. We do know the theme is a journey of discovery. So we do know there is going to be a contest, and the winner apparently will receive the throne of Terrell. We don't know what else is going to be waiting for us in Terrell, nor do we know what is the deal behind the City of Gold. So it does sound like we are going to be having a kind of El Dorado themed location at one point. They did show us a couple screenshots, so I'll go ahead and pop those up real quick. So these are going to be the pictures of Terrell. This first one is, it looks like at daybreak, where they really did go into a lot of details about the new graphics update, and you can really see all the little details. You can see all the crates that are stacked up, the greenery they were very proud of, and they went on about that for a while. And it really looks gorgeous. It almost looks real. This next picture is the city, it looks like the port city at daybreak. And again, a lot of details, and you can actually see like all the little pieces like on the rooftops, all the details and all the banners. The machine work looks phenomenal. Everything here just looks so gorgeous. It really does look like a real picture. And this last one is going to be Terrell at night. So again, with the shadows, the colors, everything, it looks like we're just outside of an inn. So this is actually part of the hub city, like I said. So we are going to be spending a lot of time here, I'm betting. And it's definitely different from what we've seen before. So really, really excited about that. We do have a couple other locations that they did mention. They didn't have any real screenshots to take. They do have some artwork up, so let's go ahead and look at that. We have Ukopapacha, I think I said that right. Anyway, this is going to be a mountainous region in York Terrell, and it's home to the peoples that are both exceedingly large and unusually small in stature. So apparently, over 1,000 years ago, this was the proud heart of the home of the Giants Empire. So we've heard about the Giants before. We really didn't see anything too much more about the Giants. We don't really know the history or the lore behind it. We don't even know how big that someone has to be, considered a giant in this world. But apparently we are going to get some more information, which does state here that the Giants did have a large empire which spanned the entirety of York Terrell. While the descendants live on in the region, only ruins remain of the empire's glory days. So this artwork is just breathtaking. So it's definitely a much more mountainous region. You can see the brightly colored hills in the background, and you can actually see the teeny tiny little village down below, as well as this mountain, which looks like, I don't know, at first I thought it was of crystal, but it just looked like snow and ice to me. They were nice enough to show some pictures of the village. It's still being developed, of course, so this is just what they're working on right now. And this here is a kind of the front entrance, I'm guessing, of the village. You can see the aetheryte crystal, which is very different than what we've seen before. I both love it, but at the same time, I'm not really used to it. I guess that's just the problem there, but you can see all the little details in both the shadows, the colors, the very textures, because it looks like you can really run your hand over like the stone, and they really outdid themselves with the village here. And this particular screenshot has to be my favorite of the village. You can see it's just adorable. Like, everything about this is just adorable. Like, it really does look like a cute little village that I would love to visit in real life. It really looks fascinating. I love this kind of artwork, like this kind of culture, and I feel like I'm going to be really, really excited to have a chance to be able to explore this region. And that's the whole point of this expansion, at least most of it, is that we are going to be allowed to do more exploration. And I guess that's the reason why Island Sanctuary is also so popular, because it's much more laid back. You have a chance to explore the world, and you don't really have to worry about the end of the world. Another location that they did mention is Dawntrail. And I kind of was reminded of the Ixali when I first saw it. So this artwork is breathtaking. So it looks like we're in the middle of a rainforest by the looks of things. So this is going to be a thick forest where you really need to be able to fly over it with a dirigible if you hope to get anywhere, just because the forest is just so thick. In fact, it's so dense that the forest floor rarely sees any sunlight, which is kind of the whole purpose of the rainforest, just like in real life. This is home to primary settlements of Terrell's, Hrothgar, and Mamuja, and it's replete with stunning cenotes harboring cerulean ponds and springs. If you've played through the Blue Mage quest line already in the game, then you know that the New World is supposed to be rich in several different springs of ceruleum. They do have a couple screenshots, so this one here is the first one. So this is the first one. I'm guessing it's the village of the Mamuja. You do see another aetheryte, and yeah, the details on the plant life are just exquisite. You can really see like the individual blades of grass, and they don't look pixelated like we have seen before. So this is another one that we have, which is kind of an aerial view of the entire village. They did go on about how proud they were of the different plant life, so that's why they have so many of the different locations with plants right now, because everything is going to be much more high-tech, like much more HD once Dawntrail comes out. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to just a couple other things that they did mention. So this is going to be a look at one of the new tribes that we're going to be meeting with. So this is the Pelupelo. So these are supposed to be a very tiny people. Like, I'm not sure how tiny that they are, but they are the diminutive people inhabiting these lands. They're seldom seen without their distinctive masks. As you can see, it's kind of like almost like a duckbill mask. They're natural enterprisers who travel the continent on alpaca back, which means that we're probably going to be getting some alpaca mounts, which I am all for. I adore that thought. And apparently they're renowned producers of tea, coffee, and melzga. So I'm not entirely sure what part they will be playing, but if you are a fan of the Final Fantasy series, then you do know about the Pelupelo, and I have a feeling that they are going to be very, very surprising later on. Of course, we are going to be getting the level cap increase, which we're going to be going from level 90 to level 100. So everyone was suspecting that we would be going up to level 100. What they plan on doing after Dawntrail in terms of the level cap, I don't really know. Apparently they weren't too fond of the idea of going up to 110. And yes, it was confirmed for us that we will still be getting 2 new jobs for the expansion. We don't know what they are just yet. We do know though that there will be 2 of them. One of them is going to be a magical range DPS and the other is going to be a melee. As to what kind of jobs that they are, really the only clue that we have was the shirt that Yoshi P was wearing, which was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles t-shirt. So if I had to make an educated guess right now, I would say that it could be a green mage that we could be getting for the magical range DPS. You know, because turtles, green, that's just me. Anyway, so if you're not familiar with Green Mage, it's probably not one of the more well-known jobs from the Final Fantasy series, but it was a job that was used previously, and it's really more of a damage over time job, which I do know we seem to be missing ever since they made all those changes to the summoner job. So this could be a good opportunity to get back a damage over time, like magical damage dealer. So that would be fun. Otherwise, the only other clue I can really think of for the moment would be like how we have the ninja scouting gear. The scouting gear is now going to be stuck sharing its equipment with this brand new job. Again, I'm really going to need some time to actually think of the different jobs that we could be getting that could fall into that category. But yes, that's everything that we know so far about the new jobs. Otherwise, we have some core battle content, so we are going to get new fates, new hunt marks, new treasure hunts, and quest synced side quests. So that's going to be a lot of fun, kind of what we were expecting. I would have been very surprised if they did get rid of all that. But of course, we will be getting some new dungeons. So they weren't able to show us any real screenshots or anything yet. We do have some artwork here. So one of them looks like we will be running through the rainforest, and that looks like a possible first boss. As for the second part, I don't know. I can't really tell. If I had to guess, it would be up in the mountains region. Like maybe we'll be going through the ruins of the giant empire. That's kind of the best bet that I have going right now. But we did get the identification of one of the new bosses, like one of the new trial fights that we will be getting. We're going to have Valigarmanda. So I really don't know too much lore about this particular creature. I am going to be doing a lot more research about it. But from the artwork alone, it looks phenomenal. It looks beautiful and dangerous at the same time. Whether or not it's a primal, I can't really say. I do think that we will be moving away from the idea of primals. So maybe it's going to be more like a guardian spirit over these lands or something like that. I do feel like a very powerful sense of spirituality during this entire trailer that was playing, so I do think that this is some kind of guardian spirit personally, but that's going to be a lot of fun to go up against. Otherwise, we do have some new gear and recipes coming our way, and from the pictures here, it looks like this is actually going to be a kind of the artwork of what we can expect for the new gear for the crafting and gathering jobs. We're going to be getting new variant dungeons, which has been a really big success after the release of Mount Rokan. And we're going to be getting, of course, the new Alliance raid, the new 8-player raid, and the new Ultimate raid. Unfortunately, we don't have any more information about any of these raids. I do know that they have some pretty big shoes to fill, especially since we will be finishing up with Myths of a Realm, which will be coming out in 6.5, and we recently ended up finishing Pandemonium, which was a wonderful story, perhaps my favorite out of all the 8-man raids, and it's going to be really tough to top that one. We will, of course, be getting another Blue Mage update. I'm guessing it's probably going to be taking place maybe a little bit further down the line after 7.0 comes out. I'm guessing the 7.x series at some point. And of course, we're going to be getting, inconceivably, further Hildebrand adventures, which means I'm guessing the story that we have going on so far is going to wrap up nicely, and somehow Hildebrand is going to find himself all the way in the new world. Not really sure how that's going to work. For me, Hildebrand was kind of like a breath of fresh air throughout the series, because where we had all this gloom and doom and war going on, Hildebrand was just there to make us smile, like cheer us up. So since we are going to be a bit more relaxed here and we're going to be kind of on a summer vacation, not really sure how well that's going to affect the storyline, but you know what? I can't imagine going through another expansion without Hildebrand. We need him. We're going to be getting new deep dungeons as well as the Gold Saucer update, which I will talk about in just a moment. But that's basically all the miscellaneous stuff that I can really find right now. That's everything that they were able to explain and talk about during the keynote. And now come the big thing. Really big thing that I think everyone was so happy about. In fact, I think this was the thing that everyone cheered the loudest for. We're going to be getting 2 dyes per gear piece. So for every gear piece out there, you're going to be able to dye it different colors. I know that a lot of people were complaining because, the dye pieces only allow you to dye so much and only certain parts, but that's going to change. They did say that there are going to be some limitations on which equipment that you can dye right now, just because there's just so much in the game. That's okay, I'm sure they'll continue to make updates on that later down the line. Eyeglasses is also a thing. This is going to be a new type of gear that can be equipped alongside your headgear. So you don't need to worry about glamoring up a really cool helmet or something. You'll still be able to wear some glasses even while you have headgear, and I guess that's going to be really popular with someone like the Rothgar or the Vieira. And yes, we have a furnishing limit increase, so everyone who has an apartment or a house, don't know how much we'll be allowed to put in just yet, but hey, I am all for that. That's going to be planned sometime for the 7.X series, however, so probably not for the main storyline, so probably in a later patch. Otherwise, the only other thing that I could really point out is the fact that there is going to be a crossover with Final Fantasy XIV and Fall Guys. So if you didn't see the trailer during the keynote, I suggest you go ahead and watch it. It was adorable. So if you're a fan of Fall Guys, then you're going to be getting some really cool additions added to your game. So this is going to be available from August 22nd, and it's a pass that will be available for 6 weeks only. It will be ending in October. But this pass will include getting new costumes based on characters from the game of 14, as well as additional costumes, emotes, and celebrations, and so much more. So I would definitely go ahead and look more into that. As for Final Fantasy XIV, they will be adding a brand new update to the Gold Saucer where it looks like we are going to be the Fall Guys, so we can actually go through this and try to survive the entire route while avoid getting killed or knocked off. It just looks like so much fun. I can't wait for that little update. I do think the Gold Saucer needs a little bit more love these days. Otherwise, yes, that's everything we know so far about Dawntrail. We're going to be getting more information as the weeks go on, especially since the next fan festival will be coming out October 21st, live from London. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Otherwise, it looks like they did go ahead and add the special site update for Dawntrail. There's not much there yet. Some artwork, a couple trailers. So you can definitely go ahead and keep your eye out on that. They will continue to do updates. I'll continue to post the updates as they come in, as they make more changes to the official website for it. But yes, I guess that's everything that we know so far for Dawntrail. So a lot happened in the keynote. I'm really excited about it. I hope all of you are too. But yep, that's it for everything we know about Dawntrail for now. So until next time, everyone, please take care.